Have you ever tried asking the DeepSeek API for real-time data information? Unfortunately, that's not possible. All AI models, including the DeepSeek API, have a knowledge cutoff at a certain point at a time. But imagine an AI that could tap into live Google search result, map, and everything else on the internet. That's exactly what we will explore in this video. The DeepSeek API itself doesn't provide a feature to provide a real-time information, but we can integrate it with other APIs to achieve this. You're probably thinking, we need to scrape Google right now. Don't worry, SerpAPI offers easy API to access search engine results like Google search.
Make sure to register at deepseek.com to get your API key, as well as at serpapi.com to start getting the answers from the internet. Here's how. First, the user gives us an input with a natural human language like this. Then, we need to extract the important query that we will use as a keyword to search on Google later. For this, we are using JSON Output API by DeepSeek to extract structured data from a natural language like this. We can have multiple data as well, but for this, we only need the keyword to search in Google. And now, to perform a search on the Google or any other APIs, we are using the SerpAPI API. So we will take the keyword and pass it to the actual function later. I've prepared the directory for my project. First, make sure to install the OpenAI SDK since DeepSeek is compatible with it. Next, we need to install the python.env file to get the API key from our environment file to store our API key securely. Now move to the text editor. Here is the basic chat completion method that I've prepared. First, we will import the OpenAI SDK, and then using the .env package to load the file from the env file. As you can see here in my env file, I've stored two keys, first for DeepSeek API key, and second for SerpAPI key that we can use later. So now we can grab the DeepSeek API key that we stored securely on that file and store it in this variable. And then create the client instance using the OpenAI method. For the parameter, we have API key, and also the base URL is api.deepseek.com. Now for the method, we are calling client.chat.completion.create and using the DeepSeek chat model. And then in the message, we have two things. First, the role for the system, your helpful assistant, and whatever we want to ask it for. So this is the basic chat completion method just to ensure that we can run the DeepSeek method. Let's try to run it. And as you can see, we are not able to retrieve the real-time weather updates as it is. Next, let's see the JSON output feature. These are the rules for using the JSON output feature. We need to set the response format when calling the chat completion method to type JSON object. And also, we need to include the JSON word on the prompt. Here is the example. I'll take the basic example, but adjust it a little bit. This is the adjusted code. So now we separate the messages into its own variable. And also we break down the system prompt and also the user prompt into its own variable so we can see it clearly. First, for the system prompt, we tell what the AI model or the system should do. Here, we tell explicitly that we want to parse a keyword from a user's message to be used in a Google search and output them in a JSON format. Remember, we are told to include the JSON keyword on the system prompt or a user prompt format. Now, we give an example input and also the example output here. Next, for the user prompt, you can put anything you want here. For example, trying to get the keyword from this sentence. Let's try it. And as you can see, it successfully returned the keyword and also the value here. Now let's try it one more time with a different sentence. Let's ask about the Tesla stock price today. We run the code. And again, we get the intended keyword as you can see here. Now the idea is to grab this keyword and perform a Google search to get the real-time answer for this question. Google provides answer directly into its search results. So for example here on the Apple stock today, or when asking for weather, this answer usually available on this section which known as an answer box. We will use the Google Search API by SerpAPI to make it easy for us to scrape the search results. That includes the answer box that we just see here. At SerpAPI, you can play around with the playground feature. So here, for example, I'm looking for Apple stock today. And if we click on this area, we can see the JSON has this answer box section that includes all the answers that we need that we can provide for the AI model. To perform an HTTP request to call the API, we will install request package first. And then we can ignore the DeepSeek method for a second here and try our SerpAPI method to call for a Google search. So here I define a method called Google Search, which accepts a keyword as a parameter, and using the SerpAPI endpoint, but adjusting the keyword and also the SerpAPI key. Make sure to add the SerpAPI key here from your env file that we have declared before. And also, don't forget to import the request method. It's done. We can try it. Let's search for weather in New York and let's print the answer directly. Now I'll run the method. Here is the raw JSON output. To make it easier to see, let's import a JSON here and using the JSON dumps method to make the output nicer like this. So now we should see a nicer output like this. This includes an answer box that we are aiming for. So all this information we will need. And also if you need the organic result, it's also available in this API SerpAPI response. Now let's combine these two methods together. So we've prepared the Google search method to call the answer box through SerpAPI. And next we reactivate the JSON output feature from DeepSeek API here. And since we already have the keyword here, we can store it on a variable like this. So now we grab the keyword. Next, let's call the method, calling for Google search and passing the keyword here. Next, let's grab the answer box from the JSON output from SerpAPI, store it in an answer box, and then convert it to string so we can concatenate it later with our string. Since Google doesn't always return an answer box to every query, we can create our safety conditional here to check if answer box is available, then we will print it, otherwise we will print no answer box found. Let's see what we have for now. Here, as you can see, it's able to grab the answer box answer from my Google SerpAPI result.
While we already have the answer, we still need to find a way to present it in a natural human language.
We will call another chat completion method from DeepSeek to let the AI return this rigid structured data answer into a string. Here is the basic method for chat completion. So we add the content here by passing the answer box to string method, which is the JSON response we just saw earlier. We pass the user prompt again here, so the original question from the user. So we can get the answer in a human natural language. Let's rerun the code. I can see a human response here from the DeepSeek API that tells us about the Tesla stock price today. Now, just to show you, with a direct Google search here, with a live Google search, you can see the number is match what we have on the left side here.
So that's it. You can replace the method here for the Google search with any API or a custom function depending on your needs by combining JSON output feature from DeepSeek and our own custom API. We can get any real-time data information from the internet. I hope you like it. Make sure to subscribe and see you on the next video. Bye.